bring in former Education Secretary under President Reagan and Fox News contributor Bill Bennett. Bill, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Your reaction this morning to this resignation?
Well, I thought it would come. I didn't know it would come this quickly, but you could tell from some of the signals and sounds that we were getting that, it was going to happen. He's a good man, an able man. I know him some. We'll see who the replacement is. A few lessons here. Tell the truth. Don't set up the vice president. Particularly this particular vice president, who's so important to this administration. At the same time, Maria, I think there are other things going on. If everything were fine, if people were perfectly happy with General Flynn otherwise, I'm not sure this would have happened. The whole Logan Act thing, I think, is silly. No one's been prosecuted or imprisoned for the Logan Act. He was going to be the national security advisor. If he did talk about sanctions with the Russian official, it wouldn't have bothered me. He could have apologized, said, well, I was premature. But that's not a firing offense. The firing offense, if we take this at face value, is misrepresenting, particularly letting the vice president go out on national TV and say something that isn't true.
Right. I totally agree. So the cover-up worse than the crime in this situation. But what about the bigger issue that the fact that somebody in the intelligence community or group of intelligence community is undermining this White House? I mean, somebody leaked this to the Washington Post. The Washington Post knew exactly what was said on that phone call. Now, we know that there was eavesdropping done, and, they were listening to his conversation. They knew what was discussed, whoever. But how does that get to the Washington Post?
Yeah, well, there's the battle and then there's the war, Maria, and the battle may have been to get rid of Flynn, but the war is to get Trump.
Right.
This is all about getting Trump. If you scan the other stations this morning and then come back to Fox Business, you'll see it's all about Trump and why is Trump acting in this way. Does the administration know what it's doing? All the usual stuff. My guess is there's not just somebody. My guess is there are a lot of people. I know when I went to the Department of Education, it wasn't just a couple of people who were trying to undermine me. There were a lot of people who were trying to undermine me. Look, we're 3.5 weeks in. There's going to be more of this. But all the more reason that people be straightforward and candid with the president. By the way, I think they're not going to get him on this. I think he's doing well. There's a shakedown period. There's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some appointments that shouldn't be made. And people should just give it a little time and a little patience on this, despite the scare tactics. My question is, how long does this opposition, this intense hatred and organized opposition to the president sustain itself? Can this go on for 4 years? I don't know. I don't think so. But it shows no signs of abating, does it?
Mr. Bennett, I'm a long-time listener of you and your radio show growing up in Texas. But
thank you.
Question for you. What can President Trump do internally with all the things going on with the intelligence community? Is there anything that he can do systematically to protect against this? This seems like unprecedented times to me. I've never seen or witnessed anything quite like it.
Yeah, well, he can lay down a few rules, I think, and should. That is, don't misrepresent to me or to the vice president. Candor, intelligence, and goodwill, the conditions of good dialogue. Tell the truth and be straightforward. Then he's got to have people in charge. Should be the chief of staff for most procedural matters. But I don't agree with people who say there has to be just one funnel. He can have a couple of funnels. The president should have 2 or 3 ears that he listens to, or sets of ears that he listens to. So if it's Reince Priebus and it's Steve Bannon and it's Kellyanne Conway, that's okay. But he's got to lay down the law in the cabinet meeting, as Ronald Reagan did with us, that when we report to him, we report honestly.